Noble citizens of the globe, welcome back to another episode of the Noble Citizens Podcast. As always, I'm Che. We got Jade.
Hello.
We got Ronnie.
Hi.
Now today we talking football. Yes, the greatest sport in the world. It is football season, and we're here to talk about it. Stay tuned. So in welcoming back all the noble citizens, we also have to welcome back ourselves because we're just not here. We're not present.
I feel like out of excuses at this point. I just don't have
Because
the space.
And I feel a little guilty because the last time we were like, all right, we're gonna get back into it. We're gonna be consistent. We're gonna, give you regular episodes, and then like 3 weeks later, we're back here.
Yeah.
For the first time since the last time. So
since we said we were gonna be consistent.
But you know what?
You know what?
If you fall off the wagon, you just gotta get back on and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
Life's a bee, and I'm just playing in the sand. I'm gonna keep the vulgar to a minimum because my mother is in the studio.
We have a guest audience member.
Not on the show, but she's
in
live, like how when the TV shows are like live. What do they say? Like a live audience?
Oh, a live studio audience.
Yeah. She's a live studio audience.
So we're keeping it PG.
We're keeping it PG. Not like she can't listen to any of the other ones, but just for
She's looking over here.
She's looking over here like,
guy.
You better hide, eh? All right. Well, Jade was telling me earlier about how I was waiting for this episode. This is my episode.
Yes.
Today we're gonna be mainly on football.
Yeah.
Because football season's upon us. We about like 4 weeks in the NFL, 5 weeks in college. This is probably the best time, well, at least for me, for 90% of Americans, I believe, maybe even the world. This is like the best time for sports.
This guy's been counting down the days.
I've been counting down the days since Super Bowl ended last year. Because football is just life,
Is it though?
It is. When they say ball is life, they're referring to football.
Ooh, Ronald, what do you have to say about that?
You are outside of your mind.
Well, I have the right because 2K is based on me.
Ooh.
2K is my story.
Ronald, what do you have to say about that?
It's not the same.
Chunga?
The apostrophe isn't above the E. It's not the same.
Oh, I thought it was though.
Nope.
It don't matter. It's still my name.
It's still
not.
Che.
It's still Che.
No.
Playing the game of b-ball.
It's still me.
When
you walk in the hallways and they announce you on the TV, they say Che. Oh, Che's going for the layup. Che is about to make the 3-pointer.
That's what they say.
Exactly.
They don't say layup because all I pull is threes.
Oh.
Well, see, that's what I do. I hit threes all day.
Oh my God.
In
Be
life.
quiet. Talk about football.
So yeah,
basketball does start on October 4th. Just so everyone knows. Friday.
I can't wait for basketball too. No taking away from love for basketball. I'm a Heat fan. I'm ready for Heat basketball. We got Jimmy
buckets.
But we ain't talking about that right now.
Okay,
that's for
another episode.
That's for another thing.
Uh-huh.
So anyway,
Boo.
here's a list of the following that need prayer.
Yes.
Antonio Brown.
Check.
The UCF Knights.
Absolutely. Check.
The New York Giants.
They need
check.
They need more than a prayer.
And last,
Trash.
certainly not least,
Ooh.
the Miami Dolphins.
No, okay.
Actually, well, they're probably least. So
okay, then I take back what I just said about the Giants. The Dolphins need more than a prayer.
All the prayer they can get.
They need all the prayer
When
they can. And at least this is a list of what we compiled of the people who need prayer in football. So let's start from the top, shall we?
Yes.
Antonio Brown has had a very eventful 2019.
Yes.
He started off. Well, before last season ended, he had his drama with Ben Roethlisberger and parts of the team and all that. And the last game he didn't play or something, and then he was on the sideline, or he left at halftime and stuff like that.
See, I didn't know all that. I just thought the last couple weeks for him has been rough.
Oh no, this is stemmed
Oh,
from
okay.
this is stemmed from last season. And so coming into this season, Steelers, there's too much drama. Steelers, they don't want him anymore. They don't want that drama anymore. So they trade him to the Raiders.
Right.
Now the Raiders are all high on AB. They're thinking, oh man, we're finally getting a great player to help out Derek Carr and their offense, and the Raiders have been struggling for years and all that. And everybody, and then there were the people to the side that like, dude, he's gonna start drama. He's gonna be a cancer to a team. They're like, nah, man, he's cool. He's cool with us. He's AB. He's in a new team, so he's in a new environment, new situation. It's gonna be a new thing.
And he seems very. I mean, I remember when the first time I ever encountered him was when he was on The Masked Singer.
Oh.
And he was
That's
revealed.
odd, but all right.
Listen.
That is rather odd.
He was on The Masked Singer. And so he was revealed to be, I forget what exact mask he was wearing, but I was like, wow, Antonio Brown. And then I think I mentioned it to you, Shay.
Mhm.
And then you showed me his YouTube page. And it just seemed very inspirational and very, encouraging for, the up and coming folks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I started hearing bad things.
Yeah, well, I think going into from the off season, progressing towards preseason, he had the whole thing with the cryotherapy and him getting frostbite on his feet from the cryotherapy he got in France, I believe, or something like that. So that happened.
Is that where people sit in negative 300 and something degree?
I think they stand.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I'm pretty sure they stand.
Yeah. Isn't it like a stand-in chamber or something like that?
Yeah.
It's like a chamber, and
then
only
there's
only your head
It's
it's
out
popping
of
is
it.
out. Yeah.
And then
Okay.
there's dry ice coming out.
Yikes.
I think, yeah. And then, it's just really cold.
Mm.
And so it's supposed to kind of, because you know how when you put something in the fridge or whatever, it keeps it fresh or whatever. So I guess it's
Okay.
kind of the same concept. So
Just go to Chicago. It's cold.
Go stand outside.
live in Chicago. You will be
Exactly.
set for, I mean, what about the Bears? Anyway,
They're
Another
trash.
story.
They're trash. That's another story.
all right. So, I don't know. Coughing is just in my nature in this show. I can't not cough. Anyway.
Okay.
And then so he tried to hide that injury, but you can't really. He's hobbling when he runs, and he tried to treat it. So and it's the media. The media's gonna find out somehow, some way.
Mm-hmm.
So going into Raiders training camp, and especially because Raiders training camp was on Hard Knocks, so
Oh.
their training camp was televised.
International acclaim.
Yeah. So he was not a part of the camp for the first week or two because he's still treating this injury. So there was a factor of that distraction between his injury and then the media covering his injury, and then the team trying to get ready for a season.
Absolutely. Because, even if it's not as bad as people want to think, the media will paint a picture of things being dramatic.
Oh, we know that
Yes.
all too well.
That is facts to the fullest, my
Yes.
guy.
Mm-hmm. And so, getting past that, he seemed to be getting better. He's running and whatever. He's getting over his injury and getting back on the field. And then pops up the helmet thing with his helmet that he's been using for his entire career is now expired, quote unquote. So it's not regulation anymore. It's kind of like an elevator. When an elevator expires, you can't, you either got to get it renewed, or I don't know what the hell it is.
Need adjustments, new parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
The parts in it are not good, and for standards or whatever, safety
Yeah.
is pretty much the main goal. So, but he feels like that helmet is his helmet. had all his success in that helmet for since 2010 or wherever year he joined the league.
And a lot of players are very superstitious about things
Yeah.
things that they carry or own or walk around with
Professional
while they're
athletes
playing. Yeah.
are huge creatures of habit,
Yes.
and that helps them with their day-to-day activities.
Okay.
And so he really felt strongly about keeping this helmet because that he feels like he needs that helmet to succeed.
Hmm.
So he appeals a grievance, or he files for a grievance first, and then he lost that grievance, and he appealed for that, and he still lost.
Right.
So there's a whole with this is a whole social media, and while all this is happening, social media is just
Fueling the fire,
contributing to it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and all of that, and so eventually he stumbled upon a helmet. I don't know if somebody sent it to him because I think on Twitter he asked people to like find him a helmet like that can go, and he ended up going with a company called Zenith, and Zenith had this kind of Power Rangers looking helmet. like even in Hard Knocks, the players were like, "Oh, the Silver Ranger out here." It looked like a Power Ranger.
So, question about that. So individual players can choose their own
Yes.
company for helmets?
They have either they have endorsements with certain brands, or they could just go out and choose their own, because a lot of people probably think that they're all the exact same helmet.
That's what I would have thought.
They're not.
Okay.
There are a few different brands for helmets and other gear, like cleats and shoulder pads and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so from then, because he found Zenith kind of formed a partnership with Antonio Brown. Obviously, it's Antonio Brown. Like, you're going to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mighty Morphin head ass.
Sorry. That tickled me a little bit. So they probably sold a lot of helmets initially being signed with AB.
Okay.
Or them signing AB. And so after that ended, then came all right, now that that's all said and done, the GM, Mike Mayock, he felt the need to not make him super special and to kind of send a message to the team. So because of all the practices that he's kind of missed and some of the things that have happened, he decided to fine him for these mishaps and whatnot. And so Antonio felt some kind of way about that. He's like, "Why are you fining me?" So on and so forth. So
words were exchanged?
Yeah, he went to either he went to practice and then he went straight to him, and it was like he exchanged some pleasantries.
Heavy duty ones?
Yeah. And
he called him a crack.
Okay.
Come on, the world knows.
The mom's in the room.
I'm just saying what AB said.
It's like, who's a cracker?
Stop it.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry. It was funny.
But
Okay,
yeah. Well, he called him a bleep cracker.
Okay.
Crack.
All right.
The A.
With the A.
Let me not even. So yeah, it wasn't pretty. He ended that with I think punting the ball away, or a ball was near him, because I'm sure there's like lots of balls at training camps. It's like we can just get another one. But yeah, like after that, things were really, shaken up with AB and Oakland, and even though the head coach, John Gruden, he was trying to salvage this as much as possible, because while AB feels his type of way, and he's entitled to his opinion, and Mike Mayock feels his type of way, entitled to his opinion, John Gruden's just over here just trying to get together a great football team to go into the season with.
He's just trying to get a ring.
All he cares about
he's trying to win games.
Is putting together like despite everything, John Gruden's like, yeah, I'm on his side. That's my guy. Like simply for the fact that he's a great player that can make their offense amazing, or could have, and that's that. So yeah, so John Gruden was under the impression, I don't know if he was fronting or not, But post that, he said that we plan on playing Antonio in the first game. And then a couple days later or a day later, they ended up, releasing it.
Right.
So,
Here comes the Patriots.
I feel bad for John Gruden because like I said, he just wanted to put together a great football team. He didn't want any of the drama, and he just wanted, his guy.
Yeah.
But, the drama happened, and, well,
there's it's a business. At the end of the day, there's politics and everything. And that so happened to be at the expense of Antonio.
Yeah, well. So, who better to fly in like a
Stop it.
like a swooping well, I was gonna name birds, but then those birds are also mascots of other NFL teams, so it kind of sounds like a swooping eagle stealing its prey, or a falcon. I can't think of any other. A vulture. Okay,
a vulture. Okay, yeah. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Then somebody's gonna go the Las Vegas Vultures. Yeah. So the Patriots slide on in and pick up Antonio Brown. Now this is odd because while business wise, football wise, it's not odd. Obviously, they want the best players. They pick up the best players of the best team in the league. Yada yada. But as far as the organization, they don't really play that. They're very clean cut and
conservative. Nobody's
really a star on their team besides Tom Brady. So they're really not about that life. Like they're like everybody else can have that. We're just over here getting our players together and winning games and winning Super Bowls.
No Brad and Chad behavior.
So it was so it was very.
I'm sure Brad and Chad behavior has happened.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it was pretty interesting that AB was taken by the Patriots because he, as a personality, doesn't really fit the Patriots organization like that. But, he got signed and he couldn't play the first game because there's a rule like if you get signed like too late or like too close to to a game, then you can't play in that game. And obviously because he doesn't know any of the plays yet. Like he doesn't know how they operate yet.
He needs to learn.
And ironically, they played the Steelers. There's a lot of irony in him going to the Patriots. They played the Steelers first game. They blew the Steelers out. Didn't even let them score a touchdown. And then the next game he was able to play, and they played the Dolphins. And he's from Miami.
There you go.
So, and then he had a great game.
I have a question though. What was the whole thing about them? The media saying something about Tom Brady invited him to his house or something like that.
Yeah,
what was that?
He stayed at his house.
Oh.
Like because he like literally 2 minutes ago, was signed by a NFL or a Boston team. I'm sure he's never lived or vacationed in Boston before. He ain't got no real estate in Boston. I mean, yeah, you could stay at a hotel, but who wants to do that when all the media is going to be surrounding you once they see you walk in there?
Right.
And I'm sure Tom Brady lives in some kind of secluded part of like Boston.
I mean,
wherever.
A compound, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
I don't know. It doesn't look like a compound in Ted 2. That's all I'm saying.
Oh boy.
I'm sure that was not his house.
I don't know. I'm convinced it was his house.
Oh, it might have been. And
I'm convinced Mark Wahlberg broke his AC.
Are you?
Yeah, and I'm convinced it's still not working.
Because Tom definitely can't afford that. Right? He's on a tight budget right now.
Exactly.
He takes pay cuts for his players. That's why he wins so much. But yeah, Antonio had a great game in Miami, and but now these allegations to add more to the AB saga.
To injury, literally.
More to the AB saga, these allegations of rape.
Yes.
And so this completely came out of left field for the Patriots because I'm assuming the Patriots were just willing to deal with AB and his injury that's healing, and they didn't have nothing to do with his drama with Oakland.
Right.
But
now I have a question now. Now, do you think that this allegation contributed to him being released from the Raiders?
It may have. Maybe. I have no facts to back that up.
Okay.
But it may have. But yeah, it just really came out of left field, especially for the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots would have signed him had that come out beforehand. So, and I think the Patriots did say that they had no idea about these pending allegations. So, I feel like they really like wrestled with this one. Like, I mean, even though like he was, I don't want to say like deemed innocent or whatever, but obviously like they're not going to court yet or anything, and there's no like legal
Judgment.
battle.
Right.
So you can't really punish him because, in America, it's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
Even though in most terms or in most cases with rape and crime like that, it's really like people really see it as guilty before innocent. Like they really assume that you did it before they actually find out if you did it. But, legally, factually, he's innocent until proven guilty. So they let him play. Because usually with that, like they would put you on some kind of administrative
Leave or suspension,
or like some kind of like commissioner's like list or something like that. I forgot what it's called.
I think somebody was saying when it comes to things like that, if it's something that's more legal and it hasn't even been, there's no charge or anything specific to it as of yet, that the league doesn't tend to put them on that list because there's no actual kind of like, charge really. Like you're not charged with anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, yeah, and at the end of the day, the Patriots were like, nah, yeah, we ain't about that. We don't care if you're AB or not. We like to keep it clean around here. We don't like drama. We don't like legal nothing.
And out the door he goes.
Unless you're Tom Brady, but we don't like legal nothing to go around here. You knew, so we're gonna have to let you go.
Dang.
And so far, that is the end of the AB. Saga.
Oh no, but no, it's not.
Is it not?
But no, it's not.
He's going back to school.
Is he?
That's what I heard.
I mean, that's not part of the drama.
No. But he just went to court in Miami because he allegedly trashed his condo.
Oh yeah, I
forgot about that.
Yeah, allegedly he owes about a couple mil. I don't know the exact amount, but to some sort of luxury condo association or something like that. Yeah, and he went to court.
Where like he like threw like a TV out the window and almost hit like a somebody and their granddaughter or something like that.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
Yeah.
Yikes.
And my question is why? Why? Like why? I mean, you're not like this 20-year-old kid. I mean, like why? Like I don't know. I shouldn't really get too much into
this. This is why he's on our prayer list. And he needs some holy water, maybe sprinkled on him.
He just needs a little bit of
sage
Jesus.
And at this point he's had a rough couple weeks. I mean, this all happened. This is the last tail end of this happened in like the span of 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So he just, at this point, once you hit a certain point, the only way you can go is up, right? So he's kind of experienced all of this in one shot and just get it all out of the way so that you can grow and learn and be better.
Yeah, I really hope the best for AB because he seems like he's very misunderstood, and I know what that feels like. So, I just hope things are on the straight and narrow from here on out, and he focuses on the positive things and more success, and
does well.
Let's get back into this thing on the good foot.
Now, speaking of getting back on the good foot and positive things and growing from sadness, let's talk the UCF Knights, shall we? I feel like we should have some sort of like sad music that you put back on.
You're the
as
only
my
one.
backup. What do you mean I'm the only one?
You're the only one.
You don't wish well for my UCF Knights? What's wrong with you?
I do, but they're not in as bad a water as you think they are. And that
what do you
other
mean?
Because they only lost one game.
Okay, they only lost
by
one
game. Point.
No. Hold up. Okay, they only lost one game, but in the grand scheme of things, that whole undefeated regular season thing that we held was our only leg up into possible any type of playoff, any type of big championship talk. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That was our only leg up. So now it's not like we're going like 2 steps back. We're going like 50 steps back. Now we're number 22 on the list, or 22 or 25, depending on the AP or the coaches list. I'm not sure. But we've just gone back. Like, we've scaled back, guys.
I feel you.
And it's saddening. It's saddening.
Yeah, I agree with you in that regard, because UCF does need a lot of well, at least the NCAA requires them to prove themselves and to get better opponents and prove themselves up until the NCAA or rankings feel that they
decide
eligible,
that they're eligible
and worthy of that spotlight.
Can we go over this again?
Opportunity of playoff. Go over what again?
How unfair I think that is.
That's too long of a conversation.
No. It's a conversation that needs to be had and the world needs to hear it, okay?
But the world already knows it.
Oh, the world knows it, I get it, but that doesn't make it right. We've had this conversation before with the whole, music industry thing. This time, we're talking football, college football here. And just because it's the way it's always been done doesn't make it right. I mean, the whole fact that you have to prove yourself for years just to get a chance to play in the playoff, to me, is absolutely ridiculous. Like, if you have done well that year, you deserve, at that point, to at least the chance, the opportunity to get into the playoff championship talk. Because, like, at this point, Mackenzie Milton, the poor guy, he is, like, almost done with college. He's about to graduate. And he, at that point in 2017, he deserved the opportunity to try to make it all the way.
But it's just, it's so complicated. And there's so many teams in college football that it's not as easy as, like, the NFL or a smaller, more
but at that point
league.
In 2017, I get it. There's a lot of teams, but nobody was doing as good as UCF. They were the only undefeated team that year.
But it was just timing. It's your build up towards that, especially since the year before they were like 0-12.
Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Okay, Bruce Almighty.
So you're saying that if FIU were to go undefeated this year, they should be in the playoffs?
Absolutely.
Hell no. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Are you kidding me?
Are you serious? Dude, they play like middle school teams. Are you for real?
I'm just saying, based on your performance, you should at least get the opportunity. I'm not saying that you're going to make it. But here's 100%.
The thing, though. There's a bunch of these the smaller schools that can go undefeated also. How are y'all all going to go to the playoffs? Tell me.
That year, UCF was the only undefeated team in the country.
But that was only the 1 year that y'all did good. And it was not against...
Excuse me, don't say the 1 year. We were undefeated in the regular season last year, too. Excuse me?
Well, but y'all didn't know that yet. That this was the we're talking about 2017. We're in the presence of 2017.
I just don't think that makes sense. How am I going to have to rely on the success of people that came before me and the people that are going to play after me? That's crazy to me.
That's the way it is. I mean, you decided to go to this program, so that you knew what you're getting into. That's the way college football is. I mean, is it fair a lot of the time? No. But that's the way it is. I mean, I wish I can give you a more,
Listen.
That's just the way it is.
Things will always be the same.
Apparently. But you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Listen, we have I say we as the UCF Knights, we have gone to every game thinking of the 1-0 strategy. It's all about going 1-0. Just this game, 1-0. So tomorrow, we'll be back in it. And we will fight to win. Charge on, guys.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who do they play?
I'll have to check.
Oh, sure. Lord. She didn't even know.
Krieger Middle School.
Shout out to Krieger Middle School.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Oh, that was FIU.
Oh, dang. Why you got to be so mean to FIU?
Because he said FIU plays middle school teams. I forgot. You're talking about
it's against Connecticut.
Oh, okay. Well, they might win that game.
Because
But-
it's middle.
I guess it's a middle school. I don't know how good or bad Connecticut is, so I can't even give a.
But you did see that they did adjust a couple things in their schedule for the future, right? You saw that now.
Yeah, they're starting to
they've
get better
got
teams, and that's what they should be doing.
BYU, Boise coming up, GT,
It was like North Carolina and and,
North Carolina, Yale. Is that Yale's?
I don't know.
That Y is Yale, correct?
No, it's BYU.
No, at the end?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Remember that one year y'all said y'all wanted Bama. I don't want Bama.
Listen, listen.
For right now, y'all don't. The high was great to ride. It was a great ride. Like y'all got excited.
Y'all rode the wave.
It was awesome. It was terrific. Had they got a chance in the playoffs, I would have been like, all right, let's see what they got. But in the reality, y'all didn't want Bama.
Our guy Dylan Gabriel is new. He's a freshman, very young. He's got a little ways to go.
He does.
He will grow. He's very talented, and he'll grow and get better. And we'll be back.
That's right. Like he's young and he don't want Bama.
What's up with Hawaii?
Stop it.
Hawaii
I'm
making their
sorry.
presence in college football, especially with their quarterbacks.
They
Yeah,
are.
They really are.
Do you know that him and Mackenzie went to the same high school?
Yep, I didn't know that.
Didn't he
Yes.
break his record, like one of his records or something like that? Or was
I
it someone
think.
else?
Actually, he was the replacement. So when Mackenzie left to go to the UCF, he was like his starting quarterback replacement. And apparently, I hear, through the grapevine, that there's another quarterback down there in that same school
again?
on the rise that the UCF is looking to go get.
Dang, Hawaii's a quarterback factory.
Just pumping them
over
out.
there. Well, UCF Nation and the Golden Knights. Sorry, Knights.
Charge on, guys.
I wish you well, and I hope nothing but the best for the UCF Knights in the future.
I'm still trying to go to homecoming, guys. I'm serious.
Girl, ain't nobody got time for
Excuse me?
that.
Okay,
I
must
wish
say
I had
this.
the free time to do that. But
I have not visited UCF for 10 years.
Dang, you old boy.
Stop it. Stop it. I am the class of 2009. Go Knights.
I thought about that, and I was like, dang, like it's now your 10-year anniversary, 10-year reunion for college. Like that's
Listen,
He went there.
you went there. You went
What you
there.
mean? He actually said that you were old, like the real words, like
The real words.
I just danced around the subject.
You want to
You
know what's funny?
sugarcoated it. Okay.
You want to know what's funny? What I'll graduate from college in like 2 years.
Yeah.
So what, like 2021?
Mhm.
So you feel like a youngin' is what's happening over
Yep,
here.
Because,
Okay.
Yep,
That
because
boy,
like,
21,
I be fresh out of college.
he 20.
I be freshly graduated. My 10 year anniversary won't be till 2031.
Wow.
You're gonna be with all the 20-something-year-olds around, or the 30 or 31-year-olds around that time. Like, hey, what's up, man? We going to the beach later? All right, cool.
I still can't believe some of the people that that went to UCF and they're like, oh, I was the class of 2014, 2017. I'm just like, dang, 2009.
Yeah, a lot of people. I remember. I don't know why, but my job recruits like they have like a management training program,
Mm-hmm.
and like
And they recruit like college graduates.
Yeah,
Mm.
but like most of them are from UCF.
Because we creating leaders up in this. You understand me?
I guess so.
Leaders of the next generation. You hear me?
Well, start-
Leaders of the
Word.
free world here to smash on you cowards.
You need to start leading them, man.
Oh, speaking of college football and stuff, what do you guys think about that whole California statute that they're putting together about players pay for play? What do you think about that?
I like it.
You like it?
I like it too, to a certain extent.
Actually,
Like I don't think they should.
yeah.
I don't think they should.
sorry, I'm backtracking.
I
Go ahead.
don't think they should be getting like millions of dollars from it.
I don't think they're gonna get millions.
Well, no, I
The-
would. Well, I was listening to the Breakfast Club when they first announced it,
Mm-hmm.
and Charlemagne and Envy were saying like they like it. I mean, and I agree because these colleges are and the NCAA are making a ton of money off these kids.
A ton of money that
like
the kids are not
millions,
getting a dime.
Exactly. So they should definitely get some money. As of how much, I really don't know. Not like millions though. Like
And after that whole incident, with I only know him by his YouTube name, Destroying. What is his real name?
Donald Delahaye.
Donald Delahaye.
Shout out to former UCF kicker
UCF. Yes.
Donald Delahaye turned successful YouTuber.
Yes.
I think he hit a mill. Did he hit? Yeah, I think he hit a mill.
Nice. Good for him.
I think so.
Yeah, after his whole drama with the NCAA, the way that they approached him about it, wanting to kind of like, oh, give us some if you want to continue this or whatever the deal was that they wanted to make with him, like that just sounds like blackmail type stuff.
Like they were gonna take like 80% of it, and give him a little paycheck, give him a little
Exactly,
like, get just a little, you know.
So they seem like
for his work.
like a pretty I don't want to say a crime organization, but
They're just sharks.
They seem like sharks. So the fact that now this is becoming a thing where, you know, hey, pay them some money. I'm feeling it.
Yeah. Because I agree with it because of the fact that I hear so many stories about these kids who are going to college, and you know and the athletes who, you know, wake up and go to practice or go to training and then go to class and then go back to training and then got another class or something and then they got to do study hall and whatever. So they're doing all that from 6 a.m., 5 a.m. to like 7, 8, whatever at night.
Yeah.
And they do that every single day.
Imagine when they have 2-a-days or whatever it is.
And then in that time, a lot of them don't have money to eat. Like they don't have money to go and get a simple like plate or whatever, or you know, even like a McChicken.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like these college athletes, they're like I said, like they're making millions of dollars for the school, and like you said, they can't even go to the, you know, the what do you call it?
Yeah.
The food court and the student union or whatever to get food.
Yeah, I hear
like
a lot of that. And not only just for them, but then I also hear a lot about how their families back home are struggling because their family are like dependent on their football career, and hopefully they get to the NFL so they can make their family some money. And they're in college, you know, just getting taken care of, sort of with all, you know, the housing and, you know, how the way college athletes get taken care of.
Yeah.
And their family back at home is still struggling, you know.
And I mean, God forbid one of them gets hurt, but this is their only time to earn funds for their family.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't think it shouldn't be millions, because then what's the point of going pro?
No,
You know?
I don't
But
think it'll be millions. It
should-
could be like a couple thousand. It could be like a few thousand, you know.
A few thousand or a few 100,000?
No, not 100,000. I don't think it should be that
a few
much.
thousand when, like every like a year.
I guess it depends. It depends on like what the endorsement is, like how it works. Like, you know, it depends really. But
So-
I don't think they should get like a bunch of like pro money. I think they should just get some money.
I mean, if depending on how good like their jersey sales are and stuff like that. Like if you got a high jersey sale, or if your jersey sells a lot, you know, like you should get a percentage of it. You know.
What do you think about what Tim Tebow said? So Tim Tebow at the time,
that's what I was gonna get to.
Yeah, he was the
that's
top selling jersey.
Yeah, and that's fine. He didn't want money. That's him.
That's also why.
But what kind of family did he come from?
True, probably a privileged one. I mean,
Exactly.
well, he's a white male. He is privileged, just off the bat, right? But I think he's definitely from probably maybe a wealthier family than most.
Exactly.
I don't want to assume because I don't know. I
don't know off the bat either, but
I don't want to assume that just because he's white, like he came from some like, you know.
Oh no, I'm not
silver
saying
spoon.
just because. I'm saying just, you know.
Yeah.
In
but
reality,
I do agree with Tim Tebow to an extent, like emotionally for football, because of the fact that football, especially college football, is so special because of the fact that it's not for money, it's for like each other, and it's like that's why like tradition in college football is so rich, and it's so like, you know the fan bases for these teams are massive and it's so special,
loyal, dedicated.
Yeah, like I agree with him on his side, and I also agree with the players getting paid. So, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword, you know.
Yeah, he mentioned that he feels as if people got paid, it would be more about the name on the back than the name on the front. Yeah, is what he mentioned.
There would be less togetherness. You know, so it's tough.
Right.
And personally, for me, I would love it if NCAA video games came back. I mean, I'm just saying. Because NCAA football and basketball were everything. So,
But can you imagine though, somebody like Zion Williamson, right? Somebody who came up and became, the biggest star in college basketball of the time, right?
You got to remember, people have been watching Zion since like high school. Like,
Right.
people were like how it was with LeBron James is the same thing with him.
Right. And so imagine, his family suffering while has his popularity and all this stuff, and his family's still struggling to get by. They need something. They need something, especially when knowing that these companies are making this much money on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough. The people have good arguments for why it should and why it shouldn't. So whatever will be, and I guess we'll just have to live with it because that's that kind of world we live in nowadays. So it's not the biggest problem in the world, but I guess for some people it is.
Right. I can only imagine.
While we're still talking about football, we got to bring up Manti Te'o's
Oh God, stop it!
girlfriend.
Didn't you say it was some anniversary or something of that happening? Oh my
the 12th.
I forgot all about that till I saw the meme. I saw some meme about somebody jumping over Manti Te'o's girlfriend, and there was like nobody there, or at least like the quarterback like stopped, so like he got fit. I don't know. I was like,
silly.
wow, we really brought that back.
Yeah. So rest in peace to her.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Anyway, so
speaking of that.
Speaking of what?
Speaking of
we're a lot of speaking of
revivals. Shay Brereton, I know that you started out this fantasy football season a little disappointed.
And put my whole government out there. Jeez.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad.
I was going to edit that out.
So, Shay, I know you started out this fantasy football season a little disappointed.
Very disappointed.
Okay, very disappointed, right?
Are you losing?
How are you doing now?
Well, the first week, let me just start by saying that the first week was the worst week of fantasy I've ever had in my life. Like, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was terrible. But now I've kind of gotten back into the ball game now.
And I'm assuming that your
I'm gonna
Giants...
make a compilation of my coughs. So.
I'm assuming that your Giants played a part in that.
No, because it's fantasy, so it's players from all over the league. Like it's not just your favorite players.
Okay,
there's a draft, and then you pick the best players, the players you feel like are gonna do good, and yeah. So week 1 was bad, but then week 2 and 3 have kind of gotten me back on, and so I'm anticipating that for the rest of the season because I'm trying to win me some money.
Hallelujah.
So yeah, that's that.
And how are your Giants doing these days?
Well, let me tell you.
Speak about it.
So, week 1, we always play the Cowboys in Dallas for some reason because, the Cowboys are all pretentious. They want their first game at home and whatnot. So, that was a bad game. Eli started. And we went back to the same old bull with bad play calling and yada, yada. We got to the second game. I believe we played, I forgot who we played. The Bills. We played the Bills. And Eli played that game too. And I didn't watch much of that game. I just saw some highlights, but it just wasn't, we do the same thing. How they say like
insanity.
You're insane when you do the same thing and you expect a different result. So it was a time for change. So now in comes week 3. Daniel Jones is named the starting quarterback.
Daniel Jones.
So now we're all on alert. Now we're on a fresh of breath air. Everybody has been in anticipation of Daniel Jones because he got a lot of attention being taken number 6 overall by the New York Football Giants because of the fact that a lot of talk was on Dwayne Haskins. Coming out of Ohio State, he had a record season his last year in college, and there was a lot of high on him coming to the Giants because he's from New Jersey. He grew up a Giants fan. He was a great quarterback coming out of Ohio State. It's somebody who's more mobile and he can add some fluidity and
agile, hostile,
dynamic. I wouldn't say hostile. But...
That's what they say in Remember the Titans. I was just watching that the other day. Sorry, it came back to me. Sorry, go on.
Okay. All right, Coach Boone. So
Mobile, agile, hostile. What is pain? French bread. Go on. Okay,
What?
I'm done.
French bread.
Yeah.
My croissant.
Oh, why? I gotta interrupt for a second.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I was listening to the radio this morning, and one of the guys I think who produced Friday Night Lights, I think they're doing a reboot of Friday Night Lights.
Oh, Che loves that.
Oh,
That's
Che
why
loves it.
That's why I'm
Yeah.
bringing it up.
Peter Berg is his name. The
No,
guy
there's
who-
another guy. His name's Brian Grazer or something like that.
Oh,
he
well,
was
that's
like,
not the guy who does Friday Night Lights then.
no, he did something on Friday Night Lights. and-
Oh, maybe he was a part of Friday Night
yeah,
Lights
he was a
somehow.
part of it, and then he was like a part of like Empire and like a bunch of
Oh,
TV shows and
okay.
movies. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he said they were going to do like a reboot of Friday Night Lights. I could be wrong. I mean, it was on the Breakfast Club today, so I mean, just
I'm a little split on that because the original show Friday Night Lights TV show it hit like it had that 2006 to 2011 vibe.
True. What is it? What's that phrase?
What phrase?
The phrase. I don't know.
The
Everybody
phrase that
says
pays.
it. The phrase that pays. Everybody says it from
Y100s.
True hearts.
Oh,
Never fail.
Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose.
Can't lose. There we go.
That it just hits. It hits different. That show it grabs me in ways that no other show could. But all right, so getting back to the Giants.
Yes.
What was I saying?
They're doing better. Daniel Jones.
So
Hey,
Daniel
he's in.
Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Daniel Jones was named the starting quarterback week 3. Everybody's on high alert now because now it's the test.
It is time.
It is a real NFL game. Can Daniel Jones show up? Was he worth the number 6 pick? And he definitely was.
Ooh.
Boy, did he have a game. 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns himself. He had like 300-something yards. He had the most yards passing in week 3.
Wow.
And not just rookie quarterbacks, among every quarterback,
Dang.
I think. Yeah, I think so.
Better than Tom Brady?
Well,
Well,
it's the Patriots. He didn't have to do much. I think they played like the Jets, so he didn't have to do much. But Daniel Jones showed up and showed out.
Nice.
Now, in my opinion, the Giants should have lost that game. I know that sounds weird coming from a Giants fan, but
It is.
they should have lost that game because the defense was terrible. Janoris Jenkins, if somehow, some way you listen to this, you're playing like a burning trash can right now. You need to get about your life. Dude, this guy, like, he's supposed to be our best corner, our ace lockdown corner. And him covering Mike Evans, like, dude, Mike Evans was catching everything on him. It was like he was playing a middle schooler. Mike Evans had like in fantasy points, he had like 40-something points, and that's very, very high for a wide receiver. So he was, yeah. But anyway, Janoris, I love you, bro.
Get about your life.
Get about your life, bro.
Send him a prayer.
I'll pray for you too, man. But Daniel Jones has now sparked an excitement. There's a huge gleam of hope now.
Igniting
hope for the New York Giants.
Love it.
Now, all the Giants have to do is get a defense, and they're right back in that contention. And I for one am very happy about that because there's been a couple years I've been in agony over this team
between the Giants and the Dolphins.
I mean,
it's been bad for you, Jesus.
I mean, I only support the Dolphins. I mean, it doesn't affect me that much, but
hometown team, it's got to affect you somehow.
I mean, yeah, I support them, but if they were to go 0-16 this season, I'd be like, well, it was expected. So the Giants with Daniel Jones, unfortunately Saquon Barkley is out because he got hurt in that game. And he should be out for like a couple weeks or so. But, when he gets rested up and comes back, hopefully we got a good record at the time. We could hopefully maybe make the playoffs if we're lucky, if we're very lucky. Because Daniel Jones is just one installation. We still need these other parts to make a whole.
It is a team.
It is a team after all.
Right.
So the Giants are definitely a team to watch the rest of the season. That'll be an interesting case.
Now, speaking of hope, do the Dolphins have hope?
I don't think hope is in their
I don't
vocabulary.
know, man. After that first game, they said a lot of the players were reaching out to the agents to be traded.
No.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It don't sound like there's too much hope.
That is very true. And it continued a little bit after the second game, and it's
unfortunate
catastrophe.
because you would
over
think,
there.
okay, there's been so many changes in leadership, right? You would think this guy is coming from the Patriots, like, whoa.
Yeah, right. Like Matt Patricia, the Patriots' old defensive coordinator, he went over to Detroit. I mean, he's not Detroit's not like one of the best teams in the league now because of him, but like they're actually right now they're 3-0, so that's an improvement already. I mean, he spent like a year or so there already, but still, like,
At least
the Lions are usually trash.
They're
so,
up and up.
Yeah, and so with Brian Flores, I mean, he wasn't a coordinator or anything. He was a linebackers coach before coming and being the head coach. But obviously, the Dolphins saw some kind of potential in him to lead their team. And I feel like personally the Dolphins try to be the Patriots so much that they just do these things based on the Patriots, not really based on like their own interests of their team and what they feel like. But I feel like they use the Patriots as like a measuring stick. And so yeah, they definitely hired Brian Flores to get an edge on the Patriots because that's the biggest problem, not only for them but for the league. Period.
Right.
And I don't want to blame Brian Flores too much because this is his very first 2-3 games as a head coach coaching the Dolphins. You're really starting from the ground up.
Oh, dang.
With the Dolphins.
Starting from a 6-foot hole.
Oh, dang. Jeez.
You got to dig your way out from underground before you start climbing the ladder with that team. But yeah, it's just like you said, there's always been a change in leadership. There's never been a constant leader. There's never been a set person besides the owner. And
now I have a question. So in past years, they've always been pretty bad, but good enough to not get to where they get like a good placement for a first draft pick or whatever.
I've come up with a term for the Dolphins. They're perpetually average.
Perpetually average. How scholarly of you.
Meaning exactly what you just said. They always suck.
Right.
But they're always good enough to be average. Like, to where, all right, we suck, but our sucking isn't benefiting us. Like, we're still putting ourselves in this purgatory. Yikes. That we either need to suck completely so that we can make gains in the draft, or we need to really be good so where we can make the playoffs consistently and have a shot at winning the division. But they're always in that middle bubble, that middle purgatory.
Somehow they always make it to the wild card round. I don't know how.
Well, not always. I mean, they've only made it that one time in 2016, and then like they won the division like once in 2009. But besides that, I don't think they made the playoffs.
You mean okay, all right.
Yeah. But out of all of what we've talked about today, the Dolphins clearly need the most prayer out of all prayers. The Vatican needs to be contacted for the Dolphins.
Oof. But if anything, if that stadium has one highlight, it's going to be the Super Bowl.
It is going to be the Super Bowl.
2020. Here we come.
Everybody, like every time an NFL season rolls around, some people are going to bring up, well, is this team going to be the first team to play Super Bowl at home? And not the Dolphins.
Not this time.
Hell no.
It is for certain. I mean, it's not for certain.
Has that
because
ever happened?
Weird things happen. No, it's never happened.
Seriously?
It's never happened in the history of the NFL.
Wow.
The Vikings recently came the closest because they had Super Bowl 51 or 2. I think it's 2. Yeah. They had Super Bowl 52 in Minnesota, and they made it to the NFC Championship.
Ooh, dang.
But they lost to Philly.
Just came so close. So close.
And that added insult to injury because they lost to Philly, right? In Philly, because, dude, they treat the visiting fans like, oh my God, like they throw beer cans at the visiting fans. Like they're wild with the visitor fans and people who aren't wearing Eagles colors and all that. So not only did they whoop them in the NFC Championship, but they had to go and enjoy playing in a Super Bowl in their stadium and winning a Super Bowl in their stadium. So adding insult to all that injury.
Terrible.
For the Vikings. Yeah.
Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
But yeah, Super Bowl 54 is coming to our neck of the woods in Miami. It's been the last Super Bowl in Miami was 2009, I believe. Super Bowl 44 against it was the Saints and the Colts, and the Saints won. So, and that was like the whole. It was great that the Saints won because of the whole Hurricane Katrina, and they were
right.
So yeah, that was it was big for New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, and also Miami has hosted the Super Bowl the most times out of any other
Have they?
city. Yes. I think they've hosted it 11. Either this is the 11th or the 12th. I think this is the 11th. But yeah.
You're the holder of all the facts. I like it.
Well,
Naturally.
I follow a thing or two here or there. So
Nice. Now, what do we think about our newly announced Super Bowl halftime performers, Jennifer Lopez and Shakira?
I love it.
Oh, do you?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it.
Love it.
Okay.
Love it.
Booty Central.
Boy. It's about to be yamming it up all on stage. I hope J-Lo brings out the hustlers on stage from her movie.
Oh my god.
to ring in the new BBC Center in Miami.
Oh, stop it.
But yeah, obviously that was a very Miami move to have J-Lo and Shakira.
You know, people were hating on it.
People are definitely hating on it.
Miami people.
Yeah, I mean, wait, okay.
Why? Why? Because she's not from here.
Yes, they were upset because people were saying that they want Miami people to be a part of it.
Pitbull.
They
Flo
want
Rida.
Pitbull and Trick Daddy and Flo Rida and I even heard.
Trick Daddy's like 60.
Listen, I
Trick
even
Daddy?
heard that they wanted Gloria Estefan, who, by the way, has already done a Super Bowl halftime show in the past.
But here's the thing. There's no Miami people that are that big to do a Super Bowl right now. Because
I mean,
and
we got Kodak. I mean, Howard. We got Kodak.
I would love to see a Kodak.
We got a little Pump. I mean, I don't know if Lil Pump's from Florida.
Listen.
Anyway, he is.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, okay, and quite frankly, I'm a little sick and tired of seeing Flo Rida and Pitbull.
We love you, Flo Rida.
And Pitbull. There's no ill will towards them. I don't hate them. I'm just tired of seeing it because I feel like for mainstream, for like industry standard, like they're the people to represent us, and it's just like you hear them all the time, and then I don't know, it just gets a little annoying after, especially since their music is very conformed.
Right. But you know what? Yes. Okay. I understand where they're coming from. Like, yes, J-Lo's from New York and Shakira's from Colombia. I get it. However, they're both Latina, right?
That's why it's a Miami movie.
Miami's a Latina town. Latinx.
Shakira being from Colombia should not be an issue because 90% of people down here are Colombian.
It's just
okay, not 90%, but
Well,
the majority of the people down here are.
There's
from
a lot
Colombia.
of them.
Exactly, there's a lot of them.
And
So
Miami's
I don't
a heavy immigrant community, right? So they're representing differences. And not only that, this is the first time that two women have been put to perform together. Usually they don't put women together.
They should, exactly. People should just be happy for that. Like,
and on top of that, Shakira is in her 40s and J-Lo is in her 50s.
Dang.
I mean,
Wait, J-Lo's older than Shakira?
yes.
Dang, I would have thought the other way around. Like,
I mean, dang, Shakira looks great.
I mean, no, I'm not saying she doesn't. I would just assume that Shakira was older. I don't know why.
But the fact that it's two women that are not the typical 20-year-old, pop star that's coming to the forefront and they're going to perform, that's amazing. People should be so proud of that.
And then here's why people don't like it. I mean, I've heard some comments since the announcement. They feel like that while Miami is, an immigrant town, a very Latinx town, the people who are going to be actually going to the Super Bowl are most likely white people. Most of them
who can afford those tickets. I'm just saying.
Exactly. I mean, there's I don't disagree with, giving them a little bit of flavor, introduce them to some,
hello.
I mean, probably, some of them probably get down with it already.
The
but,
variety spice of life.
But you in Miami, let's give you some spice, some flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And then another thing is that they don't feel like Shakira and J-Lo is like football music, because they want that like what's a good word, like aggression. I don't know, like, but I've heard from a couple people that they don't feel like it's very like football-y.
But if you think about the past year's performances, what last year was Adam Levine and Maroon 5, was that last year?
Maroon 5, Travis Scott, and I forgot the other person.
The year before that was Lady Gaga.
No, the year before that was Justin Timberlake.
Okay, and Lady Gaga was in that kind of last few years, right? She was before.
Yeah, she was. I think the year before.
I remember Katy Perry was also another one. So I mean, it's not like it's consistently been, if you would call it, football music.
I guess maybe what they meant by football music was more like American.
So more white. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't say vanilla, but I would say more domestic.
Okay, all right.
Than import.
That's domestic draft.
Underneath it all, between the lines, it's probably what they meant.
Okay, all right. So it's more Samuel Adams than Jose Cuervo. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Even though Samuel Adams is trash, so that was a bad comparison for the domestic. But you could just say Yingling. That would have been a good.
Why,
But personally, for me, I don't have a problem with J-Lo and Shakira. I feel like it fits. I feel like people will have a good time.
If anybody could turn it up, is those two ladies. Obviously, the male attention will be. It doesn't matter what race they are.
Why would you disagree with booty? Booty on the stage, jiggling the night away.
Men love them. Women love them. I mean,
their hips don't lie.
Look at mom.
Hey, Ma. So that's just my take. I don't have a problem.
And I think, what's good is that I think they know how to put on a show. And what I am looking forward to that I feel like we haven't had in a few years is some surprises. And I feel like they'll bring surprises. They may bring a Pitbull or a Trick Daddy or even a Gloria Estefan, conga, all that.
Those kind of people aren't really a surprise. I feel like there's going to be like, oh, okay.
I mean, but
they're not gonna be like, "Whoa, they're here!" like, Pitbull's somewhere in the area waiting.
Exactly.
If Trick Daddy came out, I might be like, "Oh,
hey."
I might, because he's like 60 and he ain't done anything in years. He
doesn't really fit in with Shakira and J-Lo.
Exactly. So
maybe J-Lo, but not Shakira.
Yeah.
I just think it'll be great. I'm excited for it.
It'd be alright. We'll find out.
To be continued.
Indeed. Thanks again for joining us for another episode. As always, it's a good time.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on whatever podcast platform you listen to us on. Follow us on IG and Twitter at Noble Citizens PC. Search Noble Citizens Podcast on Facebook.
Follow me on the gram at Ronnie_NCP.
Follow me on IG at _JAEDE_.
Make sure to follow me on the IG at ProBound. That's pro.bound. Football season is upon us. Let's rejoice in the greatest sport in the world. And make sure to pray for these teams that we were talking about. They need your prayer, please, especially the Giants. So thanks for tuning in for this episode. Make sure to join us for the next one. It's a noble thing to do.
Bye.